Justin has been so kind to talk about this week's card of the week. Jim's gonna love this card so much because great. Jim loves this color. Justin, what is this week's card of the week for us?
Card of the week is Oath of Druids.
All right, so I've got the card pulled up. It's an enchantment. Man, what is this? I don't know what the set is from, but it's an enchantment for 100 green. Says during each player's upkeep, if that player controls fewer creatures than target opponent, the player may reveal cards from his or her library until he or she reveals a creature card. The player puts that creature card into play and all other revealed cards into his or her graveyard. Okay, yeah, this you can cheat. What did you cheat into play with this card, Justin?
Yes.
What Eldrazi did you cheat into play?
Yes. This is before the days of Eldrazi, but yes, so this is, there's a joy of playing at a top Magic level, and winning a tournament is one of those joys, and that's great. But the biggest joy in my mind is getting people to ban a card, because it means like not only did you beat the other players, but you beat the designers, you beat everybody. And so I was able to win Pro Tour Houston with Oath of Druids, and the card was banned shortly thereafter. And the card that I got into play was Cognivore. Cognivore is a blue 6 flying blue creature that has a power and toughness equal to the number of instants. I think it's instants and sorceries in your discard pile. And so my whole deck was counter spells and control cards and things to control the game, and then just these and then the Cognivores that I could just crush my opponents with. So basically, if you ever successfully got a creature on the board, I would just win the game in the next turn or two, and if you didn't, then I would just slowly grind you out. And I had treetop villages, so I could activate, turn them into creatures, and attack you and take you down that way if I needed to. And I also had Living Wishes, which is a really fun card in that deck that I could pull. I had a variety of like specialty creatures I could pull in if I really wanted to from my sideboard. So I love the games that like the cards that really help you break the game up and just like completely change things upside down. And so Oath of Druids will always have a special place in my heart for that reason.
Were there a lot of people in the tournament playing that deck, or was that deck that you kind of thought up on your own?
It was a deck I thought up on my own, and it was actually a funny story. So several of the people you mentioned earlier that are now, not only obviously lifelong friends, but also designers, Rob Doherty, Darwin Castle, and I were all part of Team Yermove Games. We had tested for that event together. We, and this is very unusual, we all played different decks in the tournament, right? So usually as a team, you work together, you test together, you figure out what the best deck is. And we all decided that we all had different decks. So we use an advocacy system when we were testing. So like you would be like the advocate for a deck to you try to make the best version of it to break it within the system, and then everybody would work together. And usually you coalesce, okay, no, your deck's really good. We did. So Rob played the black reanimated deck, right? Which is like brought in giant creatures out of the discard pile. Darwin played the kind of green-black, kind of just good stuff advantage kind of deck. And I played the Cognivore Oath deck. And we, at the end of the Swiss rounds at Pro Tour Houston, I was the first seed, Rob was the second seed, and Darwin was the third seed, going into the top 8.
That is awesome.
Story gets better.
So cool.
Story gets better. We go into the top 8. Every single one of us sweeps our opponents. Not a single game lost from any of us. Not a single game lost from any of us. We go into the semifinals. I get paired against somebody else. I sweep him. Not a single game lost. Rob and Darwin play against each other. They go to maximum number of games. Rob finally beats Darwin. Then Rob and I play in the finals, go to the maximum number of games, and I finally beat Rob. And we end in seeds 1, 2, and 3 at the end of the tournament. It is, as far as I know, to this day, the most dominant performance of any team in history. We didn't lose a game to anybody but each other, and we all played different decks in that tournament.
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
That is awesome.
Wow.
Man, that is so
Rob
cool.
Rob and I were rooming together for that tournament. And you know how you like joke with your friends, you ever been to a match tournament, you're like, okay, man, we're going to get the top 2 trophies and we're going to have them in our room at the end of the night. You're like, yeah, dude, we're totally doing that. We totally
That is so cool. What? That's crazy. So this deck, looking at those cards, today it brings me to like it would be an is it list. That's just what my mind goes to. I feel like, Jim, you hate green, but for some reason I think you would probably like that deck.
Honestly, I'd play it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd play that deck.
Yeah. This deck,
100%.
it only leaned into green just to cheat the fact that it didn't have any creatures or really green cards. I think the only green cards in the deck were Oath of Druids and Pernicious Deed, so you could just like clear the board with it, So it was a very very blue centric deck.
I like Pernicious Deed. I have Pernicious.
That's
Deed
always been my play style.
Yep. All right. Well, that is this week's card of the week, Oath of Druid. Justin, thank you for that.